I gotta make sure I get the volume.
Well, hey, what's up, and welcome to the stream today. I know it's going to be a big day, and we're planning to, as soon as it goes live, show you the press conference that the Grand Teton County, or the Grand Junction. What is the name of the county? Grand County for Teton, the county coroner's office. What they're going to be sharing today. Again, it's a surprise that they're even coming out and giving a press conference. We don't know what to expect. We are hoping, I think, that there's going to be some level of new information that we can expect. Just as we're getting started, if you guys don't mind, hit the like button on the video. That helps shoot us out into the YouTube algorithm, and it'd be great for us to have, just to have some other support, maybe new people who've been interested in this situation, in this case, join the channel today. So, what do you think, Gabus, we're going to find out today?
Well, I'm kind of interested because Brian Enton made a post earlier. He said Teton County Coroner is having his own press conference on the autopsy, and the FBI and U.S. Attorney will not be part of it. So that, to me, could be potentially, give us some information and answers that we really, really desperately need.
Interesting. So we'll see. I mean, I hope that we get some answers that we're all desperately seeking. And I appreciate you guys making this your channel of choice, choosing to come here to figure out what's going on. And if you guys don't mind, answer the question in the poll. And that's going to give us some insight if you think something new is going to be learned in this press conference. And let me know where you're watching from. We have Mary, who's watching from Kentucky. We have a Pueblo, Colorado. Barbara's watching. Great to see you guys. Dallas, Fort Worth area. The traffic there is crazy, in my opinion. When I try to drive in the traffic, the speed limit's like 95 miles per hour. So got to be careful. West Texas. I feel like the speed limit actually is 95 miles an hour in West Texas. Ontario, Canada. Georgia. Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Illinois. West Virginia. Michigan. South Carolina. Australia. Hi from Canada. We got a lot of Canada people, believe it or not, Gavis.
That's good.
Do a lot of people live in southern Canada? Is that like the bulk of the population?
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, if you start going further north, it's pretty remote.
Just too cold. Yeah.
Yeah, it's too cold and remote. Lots of good farming and things like that. But it's a short growing season and stuff.
New Hampshire. So the press conference should be beginning in about 15 minutes. And just as we're working our way into that and preparing for that, I think we need to keep our eyes and ears open that maybe something new could possibly come out. And I hope that we do have some new information that's going to shed some light on hopefully the cause of Gabby Petito's death. That would be a big deal if we could figure out what is the cause of Gabby Petito's death. When I looked at the poll, it's looking like 72% of those of you who've answered the poll are saying, yeah, we're going to learn some new information from the coroner today. And I think that's important. And I really hope that we do. We have somebody watching from Iceland. I've never been to Iceland. Furlough said we better have something new to stop our speculations. Los Angeles. Casey's watching from Central Florida. Praying for Gabby's family. Someone said there's new info on the lawyer. Is that true? We've been keeping a pretty tight eye on stuff about the lawyer. I haven't seen anything that felt new about the lawyer personally. Did you come across anything since last night about the lawyer that was new, Gavis?
Not really about the lawyer. We did a deep dive into an Instagram photo Gabby had back in November of 2019. It was when they took their first trip. And my team did some incredible sleuthing. We tracked down that Airbnb that they stayed at to Portland, Oregon, and we found the exact place that they stayed. So
Wow.
Perhaps if he has a friendship with that Airbnb owner and they seem kind of like he is, no technology, stay off the grid, plants and all that. So that's one thing that we had a nice breakthrough on this morning. So thank you to my team over in Discord. You guys are amazing. Appreciate all your effort.
Thank you to Cameron Crazy working as a moderator and just you guys don't understand Jen B, Cameron Crazy, Jennifer Rochelle, Simple Envy. The people who are moderators do such a good job on this channel, and we got to have them to be able to do what we do. And so, just shout out to them. Thank you guys so much for supporting us and helping us out by serving us in that way. Press conference should begin in about 13 minutes. I'm going to go ahead and put a link to the call. If somebody wants to hop on and just give us just your thoughts or ask some questions about the press conference, feel free to do so. If the press conference does by chance happen to begin early, we may shut it down because even if we're mid-sentence and they come out to do the press conference, we're gonna just immediately go to that because we don't want to miss out on being able to hear what they're going to be having to say. And do me a favor too, if you haven't already, we have about 800 people watching, only 285 likes on the video. Hit the like button on the video. That's so helpful if you guys can do that. Another thing you can do is subscribe if you haven't subscribed. For some reason, Gavis, about 90% of the people who watch the videos are not subscribers. It doesn't even make sense to me, but that's literally when I go look at the analytics.
I think I was confused too when I first came to YouTube. I thought I might have to pay a subscription if I subscribe. So everybody needs to know that you can just hit the subscribe button and you don't have to pay a dime. So it just helps us get thrown out into that YouTube algorithm.
Thank you, Zachary, for becoming a YouTube member. It means a lot. You're joining the Feller fam. I think Robert also today joined the Feller fam. So it means a lot to have you guys joining the Feller fam, being a part of what we're doing around here. And I want to shout out Mary Batzel, who made a purchase of the Don't Stop book from TylerFeller.com a little bit ago, too. So thank you, Mary, for supporting the book. I truly believe it's going to bring breakthrough to a lot of people. Carly, so what are your thoughts about this press conference? What are you hoping happens?
Oh, well, I had a question first. What if this points away from Brian?
It's possible, right?
See, yesterday you did that poll that was like, are you losing sleep over this? And I said no. Last night I lost sleep over this. I just keep playing all these different scenarios in my head, and I'm wondering, like, what if this makes Brian out like he's not involved?
I think that's highly unlikely that would happen, but I mean, it is a possibility. It's in the realm of things that are possible. Look, Gavis, as they started to hit the like button, more people joined the call. Do you see how that worked? We went from 600 to 1800 as we asked them to hit the like button. I just want you guys to see that there's such a big connection when you guys do that. So if you guys don't mind, again, if you haven't hit the like button, it helps us out so much. Hit the like button and subscribe if you're going to be a part of the channel. I mean, it's really good that you support it in that way. Cindy, thank you for the super sticker. Gavis, what do you think the likelihood that there's going to be new information released today that's going to point people away from Brian?
I think there's very little chance that it'll point away from Brian. This is the coroner, remember. This isn't some FBI conference about technology and a tracking device that could have been put on the van from Salt Lake or something like that. This is how the body was found and the cause of death. This is different. So I don't think there's any relation to that. I'm going to just go grab a coffee. I hope you don't mind.
No, coffee's fuel. So Carly, that's the thought there. I mean, I think it's very unlikely, but it's in the realm of possible. When we listen to a former FBI agent give their insight about what they think is going to happen today, they think that we're not going to actually learn any new information. I think that'd be a big disappointment, wouldn't it be?
Absolutely. I read an article about that too, and I was like, why would they do this whole thing if we weren't going to learn at least one new piece of information?
Right.
It seems odd. Let's make a huge deal out of this. We're going to tell you everything you already know, though.
I know.
Probably not.
They said they might just come out and like solidify the results that they said. So I don't know, but thank you, Carly, for calling in. Really appreciate it.
Have a good one.
So let's hope that what happens is that we actually learn information. I think all of us are going to be disappointed if they come out and just say stuff that we already know. Obviously, it's piquing our interest, and we have some thoughts around what it could be. And I put another link into into the chat if you guys want to join and have a conversation with me about it and just give your insights of what you think you could or what you think might be happening in this. I want to shout out Mary and Robert and Zach, who today have joined an elite group of people that have eyes to see what could possibly be happening in this situation called the Feller Fam. And so shout out to you guys becoming a part of the Feller Fam. You have access to special emojis and just grateful that we're building a community here that really wants to seek after justice for Gabby. You see the countdown on the screen going down. So interesting, is it going to be the press conference, or is it going to just be a screen of them waiting for people to come in and give the press conference? So we got to keep our eyes peeled to what is happening with the news. And I'm tracking a couple other news stations to see if something breaks on one of the other channels first. But I think WFLA is doing well. I'm watching News Nation as well. But I think they're going to have cameras set up in the actual place where the press conference is taking place. Feel the love. Thank you for becoming a member. It means a lot. Appreciate you joining the Feller Fam today. And I want to shout out Cindy also a second ago, sent a super sticker. Thank you, Cindy, for the super sticker. I wonder if the family knows by now. Sonia says, I wonder that same question. Is the family in the loop of what's happening? I would guess not, but it's possible. And I think there's some things that's going on with the family that they haven't shared or haven't been allowed to share by the FBI. And to me, that's something that's really interesting. Obviously, Cassie Laundrie knew some information that she wasn't able to share as well. So thank you guys for tuning in today. We're just now waiting for the Gabby Petito autopsy press conference, and we have some different streams going on. And as soon as they go live from the press conference, we're going to halt what we're doing and halt our discussion to be able to dive into that. Thank you, Marcia, for joining the Feller Fam, becoming a part of our YouTube family here. One of the things that I did was, I know we have the press@tylerfeller.com email address. I get a lot of emails on there, and it's hard for me to sort through all of them. So people who joined the Feller Fam earlier yesterday, I sent out my personal email. So I can't promise I'm going to get to every single email, but at least it's a higher likelihood that I'll be able to get to that. And so I just people who are part of the Feller Fam, be on the lookout for that. Curon says, great to see you, Tyler. Good luck with the show. Hopefully can call in later, explain. I don't think the Laundrie families live in Acuda. Thanks for leading my documents. Peace to all. I was hoping you're going to be on here yesterday so that we could have that discussion, but was not able to. Hey, if you're just now joining, for some reason we've had a lot of people hop off. I don't know what happened, but if you guys don't mind, hit the like button. That really helps get us out into the YouTube algorithm. There's 3,200 of you guys watching right now and only 600 likes on the video. So if you guys don't mind, hit that like button, shoot us out into the YouTube algorithm. Mark says, I will be very surprised if we learn something new with not having caught Brian Laundrie. It's too risky. I think that's what the FBI agent was alluding to, that it's going to be very difficult for them to be releasing any level of new information, but instead it's going to be a confirmation of what we already know. Let's hope, though, right, that we're able to learn some new information today. What you can see on the screen right now is that's a sign from the Zoom, the live Zoom that they're doing, and what they did was just hop to the Zoom, and that's the doctor, the coroner, that's going to be giving some of the results of the press conference. So a lot of anticipation going on. Let's hear what they're saying on WFLA.
But as I was thinking about this, Justin, I was thinking about this a lot last night. And here's basically what I came to. I came to a conclusion that there has been one constant throughout this entire story, with Gabby Petito, with Brian Laundrie, with him being missing, with her homicide. And the one constant is this. It's to expect the unexpected at every turn. At every turn. The reason why this story has drawn the international audience that it has, in my opinion, of course, is Gabby. But also because at every turn, just strange oddities occur. Expect the unexpected. And here's what I mean by that as far as this entire process, okay? Brian Laundrie returns home.
I agree with him. Like maybe we should be expecting the unexpected because there has been a ton of twists and turns. And so I'm expecting that today during this press conference, we're not going to learn very much new information. But if we come in expecting the unexpected, then hopefully we'll be able to hop into something we didn't know. Thank you, Patty, for the super chat. Out and about, can't call blessings. All love, Grandma. We love you, Patty. Thank you for calling in and being a part of the call today. And just in any second, we're going to be hearing updates from the coroner, a press conference that's done. Looks like it was being done via Zoom, so digital press conference to be able to talk about that, and very interesting for us to be able to dive into.
Just one quick point, Tyler. I do think that the coroner would have notified the parents before this press conference, or at least I would hope that he would have. I think that it would be horrible to give them news by television.
Yeah, I think so too. They would be in the loop probably of anything already. I wonder if they would have done that yesterday or this morning. Like, what's that time frame look like? And then do they have to grant permission? I don't know. It's a grown adult. I don't know how those situations work.
Yeah, I'm not sure either.
So it's a lot to think about. I want to thank all the people who've joined the Feller fam today. Marsha, Feel the Love, Zach, Robert, and Mary. Thank you guys for becoming a part of the Feller fam. And just a very interesting thing for us to be talking about today as we're looking into what could possibly be new information coming from the county coroner office. And I hope we find new information. We played a clip just a second ago, Gavis, that they said we need to be expecting the unexpected because that's what's continually happened here.
Yeah, I heard. I've got these amazing microphone or headphones, and they work up to like 200 yards from my house. So pretty awesome.
That's cool.
Yeah. So when I sneak away and go for polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbon break, I'm still able to hear everything.
Good. Yep, good. Dr. Brent Blue's on the screen, so as soon as that screen also includes a picture of Dr. Brent Blue, which should be happening in about 1 minute from now, then we're gonna switch on the audio, hear what he has to say. Kathy, thank you for the super chat. You say you love the channel. Thank you so much. Tonight, Gavis, we're going to plan to go live at 7:45 p.m. Central Time Zone so that we can unpack all of this together today. We wanted to be able to give our quick commentary ahead of time and briefly after, and then do a deep dive if anything news released later tonight, to be able to go through it.
Okay. And I might go live on Twitch for probably an hour after we get done here. And then just if people want to come over and say hi and look at some of my videos, they can. And then I'll get off again when Tyler and I go live again, because I can't have my camera open in two places at once. So
Kim says, just remember, homicide is a big, broad category that includes a range of intent to no intent. Manner, method, and cause are all different. I don't think they're not going to make a change from it. Just to support what Kim's saying, they're not going to make it a change from homicide to suicide. I've seen people make those comments. They may give insight as to how the homicide took place, which homicide by justifiable means, homicide that's labeled a manslaughter. They could be doing that stuff, but I don't. They've already ruled it a homicide. I don't think they're going to shift it. So I agree with what Kim's saying. She's like, we need to be paying attention to. Hopefully they give insight. So let's give audio to the press conference that's happening now.
About to unmute. We'll watch for your hashtag HJB, hashtag HJustin comments here, and we'll have your reaction and discuss how this impacts Gabby Petito, Brian Laundrie going forward here live on WFLA Now after the Teton County press conference here gets concluded.
Sounds like his audio isn't working.
As of right now here, folks, we understand this is Dr. Brent Blue. If you look right there in the bottom left-hand portion of your screen, you will see that mute icon. People who are very Zoom savvy know that he has not unmuted himself here yet. So perhaps waiting just another moment here, but when he and I think he's now going to be muted or unmuting himself here in a moment. And you'll see some of the chat come in here as well. This is, again, just a raw Zoom call, but really, again, we're all listening here for the
Hello,
autopsy.
thank you all for joining us. I am Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner Office is filing the following verdict in the death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito. We hereby find the cause and manner of death to be the cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, no other information will be released about the autopsy. The only thing that is released in the state of Wyoming is cause and manner of death.
I think they said they can't hear you. Just 1 second.
New information, they did release that cause of death, and it's exactly what that U.S. Marshal yesterday predicted would be said today. They said they are filing strangulation, death by homicide.
Thank you for joining us. Sorry about the audio issue. I'm Dr. Brent Blue, Teton County, Wyoming coroner. After a detailed investigation by our forensic pathologist, our anthropologist, and local law enforcement, with assistance from the FBI, the Teton County Coroner's Office is filing the following verdict. In the manner of death of Gabrielle Lenora Petito, we find the cause and manner to be cause, death by strangulation, and manner is homicide. By Wyoming state statute, only the cause and manner of death are released. Their autopsy findings and photographs and that sort of material is not released by state statute. And I'll be glad to entertain some questions at this time.
Very interesting.
They can only release cause.
Hi, Brian.
And
This is
manner.
Alex with the News and Guide. Can you hear me?
Yes.
I'm curious whether you're able to pinpoint a date of death and when, and if you know whether or when Gabby's remains will be returned to her family.
The remains have been returned to the mortuary here, and the mortuary is dealing with the family at this time as far as the disposition of the remains. As far as the time of death, we are estimating 3 to 4 weeks from the time that the body was found. That is actually determined more by law enforcement first than than our office.
That's not very good.
Vivian, you are able to ask your question.
What's the question? I didn't hear a question.
Chris, I believe that you are muted. If
Oh,
you
no.
can unmute yourself.
Okay, it's John Walsh from In Pursuit with John Walsh on Discovery ID. Dr. Blue, thank you for your time. I think everybody in the world believes that Brian Laundrie killed Gabby. With your extensive work on the body, are you sure that it's Brian Laundrie? And will the FBI issue a nationwide homicide warrant now that they know the cause of death?
We are only tasked with the determination of cause and manner of death. Who committed the homicide is up to law enforcement, and I cannot answer the question about the FBI. You would have to contact them.
Jeremy Kopis, you are now allowed to ask your question.
Yes, hello, doctor. If you could please, can you comment on any other bruising, maybe on the body that possibly was healing, possibly older bruises or cuts that might have been healing over the last couple of weeks before her passing?
By Wyoming state statute, no other information about the autopsy is released, just the cause of death.
Hi there, this is Heather Lee, a reporter at ABC Action News in Tampa, Florida. I just wanted to know if you could explain why it took about a month for this process to finish. I think a lot of people were hoping that they would learn this information sooner. So I just think if you could just explain the process and why it took a month.
Well, the main reason was that we were very exacting in our examination and the detail by which that examination was done. We were waiting for various specialists to come in and help us with this investigation. We were waiting on toxicology to be returned, and it was just a matter of making sure we had everything right.
Thank you.
Is there another question?
Brian Enton. I believe you're unmuted right now.
Go get him, Brian.
Okay. Steve Fabian.
Man, I wanted to hear Brian's
Yes,
question.
hi, doctor. How are you? I am curious if any DNA samples were taken from Gabby's remains, and also if the body was intact, are you able to tell us the condition of Gabby's remains?
I can tell you the DNA samples were taken by law enforcement, and all I can tell you about remains is that the body was outside for 3 to 4 weeks.
Ugh, that's so bad. I mean, they know she was at the Mary Piglet on the 27th. Why would he say 4 weeks? Come on, man. Wake up. Do your job.
Chris Vivian, do you have your hand up?
Was that a question? I didn't hear the question there.
Question. Dr. Blue?
Yes.
It's John Walsh again from In Pursuit with John Walsh. You will probably be the most important witness at the trial. And I asked you before how confident you feel that Brian Laundrie, and they use the semantics. He was a person of interest. I'm old school. He was the only suspect ever. And I just wonder, you're going to be the most important guy at the trial, probably. Do you have any doubts it's Brian Laundrie?
I can't make any comment about any suspects because we are not involved in that part of the investigation. We are only involved in the investigation of the body of the deceased. So who committed the homicide is really to be determined by law enforcement.
Right, but I thank you for your hard work. And I always say in so many cases I've been involved in, let the pathologist and the coroner do their work no matter how long it takes. So I think you've probably done a really good job on this case. Thank you for your time.
Hey there, doctor. This is Rochelle Aline with ABC Action News in Tampa. Just a quick question. Can you kind of walk us through the process to how you arrived at this specific manner of death?
In the state of Wyoming, there are 4 possibilities for the manner of death. They are homicide, suicide, accident, and natural. And those are the 4 choices. When we do an investigation, we look at the crime scene or the scene of the death, the scene of the body, the condition of the body, and findings at autopsy and toxicology. And that is how we arrive at the manner of death. So it really depends on lots of different circumstances.
Dr. Stephen Fabian again from Inside Edition. Can you tell us if the body was buried when it was discovered or if the body was on the surface?
I can't tell you that. That's would be something you'd have to ask the FBI because we're not allowed to release that information.
Kelly Vaughn. Do you have a question, Kelly Vaughn?
I hope they call Brian Hinton back.
We have
Me too.
Brian Enton in the
There he
chat
is.
who has a question.
There we go.
What's your question, Brian?
But I don't think he can answer anything.
Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear the question.
Was there any impact on her body from weather or wild animals in the national park?
All I can really comment about that is that her body was outside in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
It was 3 weeks. Her body was recovered on the 21st.
KSL assignment, you were unmuted. KSL assignment.
Hello, Dan Rascone here from KSL TV in Salt Lake. Dr. Blue, can you tell us at all whether or not, was it believed that she was murdered there at that location, or is it any indication that her body was drugged there or taken there, or can you give us any indication there?
I can't comment on that. That would be something you'd have to speak with the law enforcement or the FBI.
Matthew Sella. Matthew Sella, do you have a question?
Hey, Dr. Blue. It's actually Jimmy from dailymail.com in New York here. What were the results of the toxicology report? And is there any suggestion that Gabby had any drugs in her system? And if so, what were they?
The results of the toxicology are not public knowledge by Wyoming Institute, so I can't comment about that.
Thank you.
We have a question from the chat. Was Gabby Petito pregnant?
She was not pregnant.
Which we already knew, but it's good to have a actual statement that says that.
Yes, very.
Thomas Taupe.
Hi, doctor. My question, did you seek the advice of a forensic entomologist or forensic botanist during the course of your investigation?
The FBI has sent materials to a forensic entomologist.
WPBF 25 News.
Hi, doctor. This is Terry Parker from WPBF in Palm Beach County, Florida. I'm wondering, if you said you were very thorough in this autopsy and examination, could you give us an example of the type of test and analysis you performed?
This autopsy included a whole body CAT scan, a examination by a forensic pathologist, an examination by a forensic anthropologist, and toxicology evaluation. So we pretty much covered all the bases.
I get irked
Jeremy
when people say all the time.
Yes, doctor, thank you for taking the question again. You mentioned that strangulation is the cause of death. Can you talk about how you came to that conclusion?
I cannot. That is part of the autopsy findings and is not discoverable by Wyoming statute.
Was there any other cause of death that was a possibility in this case?
Well, we look at all causes, all possibilities when we try to determine cause of death, but this is the cause of death that we determined.
I have a question from chat. It is, was the manner of death obvious? Strangulation marks, bones, injured neck.
Nothing is obvious in a situation like this. So detailed analysis was used both to determine manner and cause of death. I can't go into details on how we made those decisions.
Kristen Thorne.
Yes, hi, Dr. Kristen Thorne with WABC in New York. Could you just please repeat about how long you believe the body was out there? Unfortunately, the last time you spoke, we just didn't get a good film shot of you saying that. Would you mind repeating that?
Our initial determination is the body was in the wilderness for 3 to 4 weeks.
Thank you.
Jorge Fitzgibbon. You have to unmute. I believe you're still muted.
Sorry about that. Good afternoon, Dr. Blue. Relating back to the date of death, is there a date listed on the death certificate?
The death certificate has not been completed at this time, and the death certificates of the state of Wyoming allow for approximate dates and variability in those dates. So I doubt, well, there will not be an exact date of death on the death certificate.
Eileen with News 12.
Hi, doctor. This is Eileen LaPalmer from News 12. We sort of asked it a little bit, but is there a way that you can explain how you know that it was strangulation? Sometimes I know that a hyoid bone could be missing. Is that something that you discovered in this case?
I can't comment on that because it would be a finding of the autopsy. And as I stated before, in the state of Wyoming, the autopsy results are not public knowledge.
So then you can't clarify whether it was manual strangulation or with an item, correct?
That's correct.
Michael Ruiz.
Thanks for making time for us, doctor. Was the entire examination conducted at your lab in Jackson, or was Gabby Petito's body shipped to another facility?
The examination was done entirely at our board in Teton County, Wyoming.
Anna Gregorio.
Gregorio. It's actually Ashley Banfield with News Nation. Doctor, thank you for taking the time today. Can I ask you if from the very beginning of your process, was it obvious that the cause, not the manner, that the cause was strangulation and that you just needed this time to prove it out? Or were you completely unaware from the beginning what the cause of death was for Gabby Petito and had to resolve through a number of puzzle solving manners and other experts to arrive at that final cause determination?
In a situation like this, nothing is obvious. And so the cause of death required investigation.
We have a William Walkie.
Hey there, Dr. Blue. My name is Will. I'm from KHOL Jacksonville Community Radio here in Jackson. You're a small town coroner here in Western Wyoming. This case got so much national attention, as we can see right now. Can you speak on what it was like doing your job with such a big spotlight on you? Thanks.
Well, it was quite the media circus and continues to be. Unfortunately, this is only one of many deaths around the country of people who are involved in domestic violence. And it's unfortunate that these other deaths do not get as much coverage as this one. I'm assuming that because the deceased was a blogger, that this received more coverage than others. But there are a lot of both men and women who have lost their lives that aren't covered with this kind of media attention.
Francis DeFiore.
Yes, hello. This is Francis DeFiore from the
Port Charlotte's son. I just want to go back to my previous question, although I imagine your response. Is there anything you can tell us about how exactly you determined it was a 3 to 4 week period before death?
I can't go into that kind of information at this time.
I understand. Thank you very much.
Folks, this is JB Buno on WFLA Now. We're going to go back to the Zoom call here in just a second. We do have an update from the attorney of Brian Laundrie. Stephen Bertolino has issued a statement. That's coming up here next.
Question, then.
We have the snack squad.
Hey, this is Andy Mercado from Mercado Media. Could you go over the length of time the autopsy report took? And thank you for your time, Dr. Blue.
Well, the length of time was involved in the sense that we received a report from the investigating and examining forensic pathologist. We had a report done by our anthropologist, and we had toxicology studies that were done in addition to the report from the radiologic studies. So all these came together, and that's what took time for us to complete this investigation.
Hi, doctor. Could you speak to the state of decomposition, and did that at all hinder your investigation?
I can't comment on that.
Dr. Blue, would you like to take any more questions?
Unless there's other specific questions that haven't been answered already, why don't we close this? And thank you all very much for your participation. And I can tell you that I will not be answering any other detailed questions about the autopsy. As I said, state statute prevents us from doing that. So contacting me by email and phone is not going to reveal any additional information. But thank you for your time, and I appreciate your interest.
Dr. Blue, I have one more question. Is there a way to determine if this was accidental or deliberate?
You mean in the sense of a homicide?
Yes.
That would be up to law enforcement to make that determination.
Great, thank you.
Again, thank you all very much for your time.
Breaking news on WFLA Now. Here's JB Buno.
Gabby Petito, at just 22 years old, died of strangulation, according to the autopsy conducted by who you just heard from, Dr. Brent Blue of the Teton County Coroner's Office. An answer that tells us how she died. But so many of you here in the comments asking, will there ever be justice for Gabby? Hey there, folks. JB Buno here with you live on WFLA Now. That was, of course, I'm sure, hard news for a lot of people to digest. Gabby Petito dying of strangulation, according to this press.
He's going to read a statement from Stephen Bertolino, and so I'm going to wait on him to do that. I want to hear what Stephen Bertolino had to say.
And you just heard from Dr. Brent Blue here, but we do get a really couple of key pieces of information here from Dr. Blue. And I want to start here, Justin, if we can.
I'm frozen up, buddy.
Oh, you are frozen.
Yes.
Let's get that fixed.
Let's get that fixed for you. A lot of new information to go over.
Yeah. So let's fix the camera for Justin, and then we can get him back. And now he is back.
There we are.
Okay. So the key piece of information, Justin, 3 to 4 weeks.
3 to 4 weeks. Again, the main headline, the cause of death, according to the Teton County coroner, is strangulation. Again, they had previously told us her death was a homicide. He again confirmed that today. Again, the coroner says he believes her body was in the wilderness there for 3 to 4 weeks from the time it was found from before when she was killed. He was very tight-lipped on questions about who might have been responsible. JB,
I think that part was the most frustrating part for people that were watching, was like, who could possibly be involved in this? Didn't know. 3 to 4 weeks, is what he kept saying. We want more detailed information. He wouldn't give it. The Laundrie family attorney, Mr. Bertolino, texted this out. Gabby Petito's death at such a young age is a tragedy. While Brian Laundrie is currently charged with the unauthorized use of a debit card belonging to Gabby. Brian is only considered a person of interest in relation to Gabby Petito's demise. At this time, Brian is still missing, and when he's located, we will address the pending fraud charge against him. So pretty much a blanket nothing statement from Stephen Bertolino. And then it felt like, Gavis, that the coroner gave us the bare minimum amount of information, but it was more than, honestly, I was expecting to get.
Yeah, I agree. I think at least we know that it wasn't a gunshot.
Yep.
You know, he brought in pathologists and entomologists. I mean, it was 21 days, so I'm a little disgusted that he said 4 weeks. I don't know if that's a ploy to give Brian an out or give the lawyer a potential timeline to not put Brian there, but I don't know if that was done deliberately or just a total amount of incompetence. I'm not sure. Because we know she was alive at the Mary Piglet on the 27th, which would limit it to only 3 weeks.
I would say like they have certain parameters based on the decomposition of a body. I don't know why I just said Bible. Based on the decomposition of a body, that they have to say if the body has decomposed to this level, then we have to say it's within 5 to 6 days, or within 7 to 10 days, or within. And so I think it was a very scientific answer, because he's not playing detective. He's a scientist who's looking at the body and then making some, assessment based on that. So my guess is that he wasn't taking into consideration things like the Mary Piglet sighting, but instead was doing what he was supposed to based off of scientific evidence.
Yeah, but if he would have done his job, he would have seen the video where she was alive and there was eyewitnesses, and yeah, maybe gives him an out. I'm not sure.
Yeah, it's like clearly it wasn't 4 weeks ago because she was alive at the Mary Piglet. But we want to make sure we're sticking to what he says, which is 3 to 4 weeks. And they're filing it as a strangulation by homicide. This is great for Gabby Petito's family because the body's at the mortuary and they're going to get an opportunity to have the body back. So
his death at 4 weeks would place it before Gabby showed up at the Mary Piglet alive. So that's why I'm having a problem with 4 weeks, guys. I'm just reading the chat as we go.
Yeah. I think it has to do with the scientific reasoning behind what they had to answer. Anita is saying, yeah, Tyler's correct. They can't give an exact timeline due to what they find in a scientific manner. And the way that he was answering questions, it's like he was just totally doing to the T what he was supposed to be doing. And so what I want us to be able to do is come back tonight. We'll be on at 7:45 Central Standard Time Zone. We'll unpack this a little bit more. Thank you guys for joining today, and looking forward to seeing you tonight. Thank you for liking the video and hitting that subscribe button.